Hey relocators, this is Madeline Yao with OFR's channel here on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I am here today with Cici. I need your last name because I can't pronounce it.
Kuzmanovic.
She is my good friend here living in St. Cloud, really close to the airport. It's probably like 20 minutes, right? 20-30 minutes?
Yeah, see? I don't know if you can see an aircraft out there in the distance.
I know, right?
It's about to land.
We're very close to the MCO International Airport, and today I just wanted to bring a friend of mine and just go over a couple questions because I know a lot of you guys are in the process of relocating and trying to find information. So I'm just gonna ask her 3 questions and kind of help you guys out to start your journey. So Cici, actually, my first question for her is, when did you relocate to Central Florida?
Well, I relocated to Central Florida back in the day, so it's been a little while now. It was 1996, and let me tell you something about Central Florida back in 1996. I moved to Orlando from a very hip and happening city, right?
Miami.
Miami. And I was relocated by my company. I worked for an airline at the time, and Orlando was completely different than it is right now.
Very different.
Completely different, because I think that's when you moved here too,
yeah,
right?
I'm not going to say my age, but I did move down here in 1996, and it was totally different. It was all about tourists, not about the residents. It was a lot about Disney, Universal, and there was so much going on in downtown Disney, which they also changed to Disney Springs, and they changed the whole concept over there. So, and Church Street was like Church Street is in downtown Central, the middle of Central Florida, and I remember people would just fix their cars, drive it around, and then you just drive it around the whole whole day Friday night, and that was like your thing, walk around downtown. And it's not like that now. It's totally different. So.
But back then it was, I was young. I was in my early 20s, and I would joke about it because I couldn't believe that they would roll up the sidewalks. Meaning that they would just shut down. They would roll up the sidewalks and shut it all down right at about 10 o'clock. And back then they didn't have. There was like a citywide mandate that they had to stop everything at 2 o'clock.
Oh yes,
I do remember that.
Yeah, everything.
2 a.m.
Yes, everything was stopped, and you would just have to go home. And
there was no after hours. No. I was used to 4:30, 5 o'clock. That's when the clubs
and the party starts in Miami.
And then there was an after party. Right? No. But here we are. Fast forward, 20 something years later, and now it's completely different. So, so I came here to answer that question in '96. And I have seen this city change so much. So to even go back there in my head, I'm like, wow, it's really a blast from the past. It really is.
It is. It's actually exciting now because so many people are relocating from different areas. And you said something that I wanted to tap into, because you were like that she moved down here because her job relocated her over here. So I know a lot of you guys, your job is thinking of relocating you here, and you're looking for neighborhoods and information and where to move, what's the best schools. And I do have a guide for that, a starter kit that will help you guys with that. And I know in that time we didn't have that. We didn't have internet in 1996. I mean, we did have internet, but it wasn't as advanced as what it is right now. So, a lot of people that are in Central Florida are not from here. So when you move down here, you're always going to have a conversation. So I was talking about earlier, is that she came down to Central Florida because her job relocated her to Central Florida. And I know a lot of you guys are in the process of that. Your boss is probably thinking of relocating your family or wanting to expand down here. So you won't be the only one that just relocated. You'll have tons of people. Everywhere you go, someone's from somewhere, and the conversation will start. So you won't feel out of place. You will actually be like, hey, everyone's not from here. So
a lot of transplants.
Yeah. So you got plenty. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be nervous. It's an exciting melting pot here in Central Florida, and it is growing, and you'll be part of the growth. So my second question is, what is one advice you would give the audience that will help them through their move? So what is one of your advices?
Well, that depends, because when I first moved here, I was in my early 20s, and I certainly would have loved to have known about, for example, I think we talked about this earlier, that I would have loved to have known that Winter Park and Park Avenue was so awesome. It wasn't until like a year and a half after I first moved here that I found out about it, and I could have killed myself because it was so much fun once I discovered it. But I could have had been making friends and hanging out in that vibe, you know. So when you're younger, you want to know where those places are, and to have a nice little
place to go hang out, just walk, just see the trees. Cause, you know, Orlando's huge.
And to know about it, and to have somebody to either tell you about it or communicate it with you somehow. Because I mean, it was trial and error when I found that out. So if you're older and you've got young children, for example, because I'm also a mom and I had babies, it would be nice to know where the story times are, that the libraries do story times, you know, once a week in different libraries around town.
That's true.
Or that, you know, that Lou Gardens, this beautiful botanical garden in the middle of Orlando, that they do free
Mondays, the first Monday of each month.
Yeah, and then like all the strollers. Then you get to meet other moms with babies and strollers, and that's what you want. You want to be part of that community.
Connect with new people. You know, have new friends, and just kind of. And then once you meet there, then you guys can make plans to go somewhere else.
And that's what we did. That's what I ended up doing. And then, like, to this day, my children are lifelong friends with people that were from my first play group that we put together from meeting at these different events and stuff.
Different areas. And there's so much here that, you know, you really can't limit yourself. If you live in Lake Nona, you can't just think about Lake Nona. You want to go outside of Lake Nona, meet other people, maybe in downtown, or just, you know, get out of the area. But you know, you can also meet people here in your communities, because people are not from here and they might know of an event that you might don't know. So it's what was the question? Is there anyone? Yes. So resource. So back to that question. No, the second one was just the advice. The one
advice.
Yes.
Too.
So that's one advice, is to, you know, when you move down here, connect with different groups and just kind of meet, you know, people in your stage of life. So
and to connect us as soon as possible, because loneliness is real.
It is real, especially here in Central Florida. It does exist, because, you know, you work. You feel, if your husband is going to work, you're home all day, you don't know anybody, you start calling people from back home, they're busy, you feel lonely, the kids are here, you don't know where to go. So it is very important to connect here. Wherever you are, there are families and people and individuals that are ready to connect and ready to meet you and be your friend.
Because and what if you don't have a family and you're here by yourself, and then you go to work, you come home, you go to work, you come home, you go to work, you come home.
Life gets boring.
Well, and then you really start missing home, wherever home was, and there's a whole life out here that's ready for the taking. And every city has its own thing.
Yes.
And now I tell you what, I love Central Florida, Orlando, St. Cloud. I love it here too. I love it here so much.
I do too.
I love going to Miami. I love going to New York. Don't get me wrong. It's always fun. But this is home now. Yeah.
And I used to, it was like a love-hate relationship with me. I hated Central Florida because I was
at home.
Yeah, I missed home. I was in high school and I didn't connect with people, and I just didn't know anybody, you know, and
that was it. That was the issue.
And I didn't know where to go, and I felt out of place, but then, you know, after a while you start, you know, wow, wait a minute, I live in Central Florida. Let me start enjoying it. Let me see what's out there. Let me see who I can meet. And I met people everywhere I would go. I would meet someone new. They weren't from here. We connected, and then we had our fun, and we barbecues. I was invited to barbecues and parties.
I mean, we got the weather for it.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. So, you know, there's a lot here. Once you're here, I know you're right now in the beginning stages of, you know, getting information, but just know that there's a new world over here waiting for you in Sunshine State, you know, with so much new things.
I mean, look at it. It's December and we're poolside.
I know, right?
It's December.
That's freaking awesome.
Yes.
I'm really waiting for the cold weather, and it gets cold here, so don't get rid of any of your cold clothing, your sweaters. You will use it because
for like a month.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You can still wear your hats, your sweaters, your boots. We do get 40 degrees, sometimes 20. So keep that in mind. Don't get rid of all your winter clothes.
Yeah.
Because you might go back home soon. You might need it. So,
that's true too.
Yeah. You always want to be prepared for for the extra vacations that you might, you know, when you move down here, you're going to go back home. So, okay, so this is my third question. Okay. Is there any type of resources you wish you had during your moving process?
Look, I've always said that it would have been the bomb.com to have a even like a concierge, right?
Yes.
Somebody to be like, listen, I'm not there. Or I would love to know. Like, for example, I'm a jiu-jitsu. I do jiu-jitsu, and to know where the jiu-jitsu gyms are, you know, and to know, you know, more about them and have somebody maybe investigate on my behalf. That would have been great, like a concierge. Now, so that would be in my ideal world. I certainly would have paid for that. I certainly would have paid for somebody to be my go-to person, to be like, hey, listen, like an agent almost, right? Like, hey, listen, I need to find out XYZ. So that would have been a great resource. Also, to even have maybe at the very least, because of course there wasn't any kind of resource back in the day, but even to just have a little concise, like, your trash, your electric, your water. Yep. It goes through all of this. It would have saved me time. Yes, it's true. There was internet back then, some internet, not like right now, and I could have looked for all of this on my own. But it's time consuming.
It is, and sometimes we don't have time for that stuff.
I would definitely have paid for any kind of resource to cut down on that time for me, especially when I had to move like this. I had to move
especially
fast.
Like you needed to get, you know, you were going from one city to another, and then you had to start working, and then you didn't have time to do all that research. So some of you guys are like that. You're gonna come here, you're gonna put your boxes in the house, take your clothes out, start working, and it is what it is. You know, you probably on your lunch break you gotta like make things happen, or have someone in the office. If you move in an apartment or a house, your wife will help you, or you just need that extra time, or that, you know, that guide. And I actually did all the research for you guys. I did a Orlando starter kit that lists tons of information, resources that will help you, like, you know, the top recruiting companies. If you're not getting relocated, you know, with your job, I have the list of recruiters that you can call. You can actually check out their website, put your resume, and see what industries they're actually, you know, working
in
with.
The job market.
Yeah, and then I also gave you guys the top companies here in Central Florida, so you know who's right behind, you know, behind your yard, or, you know, who's down here in your backyard. So, you know, you actually come with that knowledge, because if you come down here for one company, you never know, you might want to improve yourself, find another job, get a better pay. So you just never know. So I have that, and I also added a moving company. So if you need someone to help you move from one city over here, that moving company, they do that. All you have to do is just call them and schedule something. But I just wanted to come in and, you know, do a quick little video with, you know, some residents here in Central Florida, and tell you guys their experience, so you don't feel alone. You might resonate with her, you might not. Take what you can, take what you can't, you know, leave what you're not going to use. But I think this is helpful, because this is real people. We live here, and we're showing you what you're going to expect here, you know. So there is a link near somewhere in this video. Click on the link, get your guide today. You'll get the guide, and you also have 2 checklists. So if you buy now, you actually get the checklist. So get the guide, get the checklist, and you need to buy now. At this moment, click and start making your move. So I'll see you guys in my next video, and maybe I'll bring another resident here in the area to share their story with you and your family. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Good luck and happy moving.